What is up, YouTube? How's everybody out there doing today? I hope you guys are having a fabulous freaking day. Before we get this video started, I'm hoping that you guys can do me a big favor and go down to that notification bell and hit that notification button, because subscriptions, I mean, it's nice to see subscribers, but I'm starting to notice with YouTube's new algorithm or past algorithm or whatever algorithm they decide to use this freaking week, the notification bells basically tell everybody when videos go live, and you guys will get every video notification, which is freaking awesome. So do me a favor, hit that notification bell, make sure you put it on all. It has like all personalized and none, but make sure you put it on all. That way you get notifications of any future videos coming out on this channel in the future. But in this video, we're gonna do something a little bit different, as you can tell by the thumbnail. We're gonna be talking about this 2018 CAMARO ZL1, freaking black on black convertible top. I know a lot of you guys don't like convertibles. There's been comments in the past on this car about it being a convertible, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pop the hood on this sucker. It's got a nice roll bar in it and everything. Yeah, and pop the hood so you can see what's been done to this car in the past. Last time this car was on the dyno, it made 700 horsepower at the wheel, 711 horsepower at the wheel. But obviously, as you guys might know, these 2018 ZL1 Camaros come with an LT4 engine. The LT4 engine has a supercharger on it, and that is not that supercharger, to be honest. You guys are probably like, Andy, that's a hell of a supercharger. But yeah, guys, this is not an LT4 supercharger. This is actually a 2650 Magnuson supercharger that I put on a little bit ago, and with the RotoFab intake. It also has non-catted exhaust, and it has a Flowmaster, kind of a weird Flowmaster exhaust system. I actually have to show you guys how weird it is. It sounds okay, but I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. Hopefully you guys can see the muffler down there. But basically, it has like a regular Flowmaster muffler for regular, you know, driving around, I guess. And then the flapper valve right here, as you guys can see, will open up at wide open throttle, and it'll open up this straight pipe setup. So it doesn't go into that muffler anymore. It actually goes into the straight pipe, which is kind of weird. The stock muffler that's on these cars is a big giant suitcase, and it kind of does the same thing. So, but that Flowmaster is kind of a weird exhaust system. I don't know if I like it, but my buddy liked it, so that's what he got. But yeah, so this thing's pushing about 15 pounds of boost, and it is a stock LT4 engine. There's nothing else done except for bolt-ons and the Magnuson supercharger. But we are going to be adding one more mod to this car, which is going to help it run really cool, and hopefully make some horsepower as well. But I'm sure you guys are all probably like, man, Andy, that thing's badass. Aren't you going to start it up so we can hear what it sounds like? And I'm like, of course I'm going to start it up so you guys can hear what it sounds like. Why wouldn't I do that? Unbelievable. We'll go ahead and set the camera here. There we go. Heard that right when it started up. The straight through pipe was open, and then it shut. You heard it shut, and it went directly to the main muffler, the big muffler setup. Now, if I would rev it up, or if I would go to wide open throttle, for example, I'll let you guys hear that. It'll open up that valve and it'll run it through. And that's pretty much what that sounds like there. It is a very loud freaking car, no lie. But like I said, we are going to be doing a little bit of a different mod here to it, which is going to help it make more horsepower. Actually, let's set this down. set that down on the floor there and open it up. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So one of the things on these cars that is kind of lacking is the fuel delivery system on the low side. If you guys know anything about these LT4 engines or these late model GM engines, they have a high side pump that's underneath the blower or underneath the intake, and a low side pump which is in the gas tank itself. And whenever you want to add more power to something, you definitely want to make sure your fuel supply is bar none the best that you can get, or an upgrade from what you can get. And what we have here is a 4 Innovations pump setup. The first thing I'm going to pull out of here is the pump itself. So let me get that out and I'll show that to you here real quick. There you go, guys. That there is one massive setup. Basically, it is the 4 Innovations triple pump setup. As you guys can see, there is 3 E85 compatible fuel pumps here. Not just 1, not just 2. And they are going to be operated on a Hobbs switch as well. This thing is ridiculous, guys, ridiculous. The 4 Innovations setup comes with a new hat. So this will basically go in place of the old hat setup that's in the car there. And this just sits down in there, and then the locking ring goes on top and you're done. So all 3 of these pumps sit down to the bottom of the gas tank and feed fuel up. One of the reasons why you want a triple pump setup or a dual pump setup on something like that is because if you're going to run E85, you're going to run a lot of boost, for example, like this, you're going to need that extra fuel flow coming from the low side. This setup is definitely going to help it for sure to make that happen. E85 will eat up, you know, you need more of a fuel system for E85, bigger pumps, bigger injectors, or whatever the case may be for E85. This is going to accommodate that 110%. You got all your triple plugs up here. There is a separate control unit for this as well. We're going to get that out, show that to you guys as well. So as you guys can see, this also comes with a 4 Innovations fuel pressure regulator. Here is our control box. This is basically what's going to give power to all 3 of those pumps. Little instructions there: power battery, remote 2, remote 1, chassis ground, pump 1, 2, and 3. And then you have all your nice fun wiring that you have to have. Here's your Hobbs switch. This is going to activate the dual pumps at the back side of it. More plugs. They give you a whole bunch of freaking wire. This is your positive and ground. Big, thick wire, which is freaking awesome. There's our other wiring for our pump. And then we have a fused block as well. Nice little fuse block as well. Put that all back in the bag. This is all E85 compatible fuel pump setup. So this is made to run E85, like I said. The biggest thing in my personal opinion that matters when it comes to E85 is the fuel line. And as you guys can see, we have a lot of it. This is fuel line that is specifically designed for E85. It is going to be an 8 AN return with, hold on, there's more, ladies and germs, a 10 AN supply. 10 AN supply, guys, which is freaking huge, So it's definitely not going to have an issue getting any freaking fuel up to this engine for the power it's going to be making. Last but not least, guys, we have the filtration device, or the filter for this ZL1. It's an 88mm element filter. It is huge, very big. Definitely going to filter any particles or anything that's bad for the fuel system out of the fuel system. That way it's nice and clean, E85 wise or fuel wise, when it gets up to the engine, guys, which is a very important freaking thing. So hopefully with this fuel system, with E85 in the car, this thing should be putting down some really badass numbers on Keith's Pit Stop Dyno in Gettysburg, PA. We also are doing something else. We also are going to be putting on a smaller pulley on the supercharger to make more boost as well. Hopefully everything handles it, you know, good and doesn't break or anything goofy happen, which you never know. When you're making this much horsepower with cars, it's always a chancy thing. It's always a very chancy thing, guys, to see how things work out, because, you know, as you add power to cars, you're just taking the life expectancy away from it rather quickly, to be honest. The other thing I want to mention in here, and please do me a favor, guys, comment down below. comment down below. Me and my buddy, we were talking about this car. And I was telling him, hey, listen, man. I was like, there's two options here. We can either drop the fuel tank out the back, which is down below. You have to take everything out. It's not that hard to do. It's pretty simple. Or we can cut a hole, an access panel, underneath the back seat on the passenger side there. And obviously, you guys know this is a beautiful car. Like, this is a beautiful car. Nobody wants to cut into something like this. But my buddy looked at me and he said, Andy, cut the access panel. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure you want me to cut this access panel out? Because once it's out, it's out. You know what I mean? Like, we can make it look nice. We can take another piece of sheet metal, make it a little bit bigger, and slap it on there with some Velcro to make it look clean and everything. And he looked at me and he said, Andy, he's like, this is why I want you to do it this way. He's like, because if I ever have an issue with this thing in the future, if I ever have an issue with it, I don't have to pay somebody hundreds and hundreds of dollars to drop the gas tank out when I can just pull the back seat up and right there it is, easy peasy Japanesey to get to diagnose any wiring issues or fuel pump issues in the future if it were to have any. And I was like, yeah, it's a great idea. I mean, I've done it in the past and it's worked out very, very well. And a lot of people do it, but it does always break my heart to have to cut into something so new and so beautiful, and it sucks. But that's what he wants. That's what he's going to get. I'm actually going to, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a full square for where the fuel pump is, underneath the hatch, underneath the back seat there. And I'm going to get a bigger piece of metal, sheet metal, little thin sheet metal. I'm going to put Velcro all around it, and then Velcro on the body as well. And we're going to squeeze it down on there underneath the seat. That way, if anybody ever pulls the seat up, it's a nice, pretty, accessible panel that they just have to rip off, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Easy, no big deal, and it looks neat and clean at the same time. Very common things for people to do this to the cars as well. So I know a lot of you guys are going to comment down below and say, oh my God, Andy, how could you do that? Da-da-da-da. Listen, not my choice, man. Not my choice. He wanted it done, and it's going to get done. Other than that, guys, little update on the ZL1 that's here in the shop. I want to change things up a little bit and show you some other stuff other than the Integra. I know a lot of you guys watching for the Integra. But there you have it. We're definitely going to have updates on the Duramax engine here soon as well. I know I talked about that in the past. Duramax is sitting back there. And we also have a C7 too. That's another buddy of mine, C7 here. You're going to be interested to see what that's going to. It's a swirly boy. It's going to be up at the top there. Little swirly boy on the side. No, not on the top, side. Swirly boy. We'll talk about that later, guys. We'll talk about that later. But other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor. Give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification bell like I said in the beginning. And I hope you all have a great freaking day. Other than that, deuces.